Thank you for checking out today's video. In today's video, I will be sharing with you all of my favorite products that I have been loving recently. Each of these products are my honest favorites and I reach for them on a regular basis. I will show you the products, talk about why I love them, and also share a few of my tips and tricks that I have learned along the way as I apply them. I have been spending more time in my beauty room recently. I love hanging out in here. Each time I sit in this area, I feel so creative and inspired, which has led me to today's video. In today's video, you will see me wearing my favorite pair of earrings that I can't get enough of lately. And at the end of the video, I'm excited to share with you a recent obsession. I have become obsessed with perfumes recently, and there is a certain perfume that I could not wait to wear in the fall season. I hope you are comfortable. Grab a drink or a snack because this video is going to be long, but I promise you it will be fun. The first product I will be showing you is a illuminating and hydrating lotion. This is the Hydro Pro Glow Illuminating Lotion by Kiko, Milan. I picked it up in Italy last year and I absolutely love the dewy finish that it gives my skin while still hydrating it. I use it even on makeup-free days. Next, I'm going to prime and prep my skin. This is the Porefessional Smoothing Primer by Benefit. I like to focus this on my T-zone and smooth out my pores and then lightly dust it across my cheeks to prep them for foundation. I love a dewy, natural looking finish for my foundation. And my absolute favorite foundation to use is the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation in the dewy finish. I have mine in the shade Desert Beige, and I love the natural looking yet still dewy finish that it gives my skin. It also photographs really well. Before I move on, I'm going to exfoliate my lips and prep them for lipstick application later. For this, I use the Revelon Exfoliating Lip Balm and just massage that into my lips and get them nice and hydrated for later. As you can see by my nearly empty tube of concealer, my absolute favorite concealer to use is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I love that this concealer is non-drying. It also doesn't settle into any fine lines. For bronze and contour, I like to use a foundation stick. This is the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation stick in the shade Chestnut. I like to take this foundation stick and first put it on my hand to get it warmed up and creamy, and then I blend it all around the sides of my face where I want to bronze and contour. It's so easy to work with, very blendable, and I love that it doesn't move around any of my foundation underneath. Next, I'm going to blend in my concealer. As you can see, I like to let my concealer set a little bit before I blend it in. For this, I use the EcoTools blending sponge. I absolutely love this sponge. It blends everything in so nicely. Before I move on, you'll notice that I discover a pesky little pimple on the side of my chin. It's a good thing I have a great concealer to dab that out and blend it in a little bit. Next up is going to be highlighter. I am obsessed with this highlighter. This is the Cara Gets Glowing Liquid Highlighter in the shade Champagne by Red Aspen. You're about to witness me go crazy with this highlighter. I love how it gets the high points of my cheeks and the bridge of my nose so glowy. I'm going to blend this out with a beauty sponge. And can we take a second and just appreciate this highlight that it's giving the upper points of my cheeks? I love it so much, it has me literally dancing in my seat here. And I'm going to bring that to the tip of my nose because I like the front of my face to be nice and highlighted. Isn't this just gorgeous? I mean, look at that glow on my cheeks. Okay, here's where I go a little bit crazy. I'm going to take this highlighter and bring it down to my collarbone because I'm wearing a cami and it's nice and sunny out, so I decided I want my collarbone and shoulders to be nice and highlighted. I added a bit much, so we're going to hang out here and blend it for a while. while I work on that blending, I want to share with you that this liquid highlighter is great to add to your lotion for the day. Normally I take my lotion that I'm wearing and I take a squeeze of this liquid highlighter and mix them together, and then I rub it on my shoulders and collarbone. It gives the same effect, and it's also easier to blend out when added to a lotion. But we're just going to dance it out and use a beauty blender and a brush to get this nice and blended. I'm using the same brush that I use for my bronze and contour at the end, just to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines from that highlighter. And as you can see, I am very happy with the highlighted results, and now we are moving on. If there is anything I love as much as highlighter, it would have to be blush. This is the Evelyn's Blush and Crush Cream Blush by Red Aspen. I'm using mine in the shade Pink Dragon Fruit. I like to use a Morphe stippling brush to blend out any cream and liquid blush. This stippling brush is so easy to use, and I like the finish that it gives my blush. I then go in with a damp beauty blender later to make sure all of those cream products on the side of the face are nice and blended. And you are about to witness me going in a second time with blush. This blush is so creamy and blendable, and it is really hard to overdo it with this blush. The finish is so pretty and pink. I love the way that all of these cream products have melted together. Now that all of the cream and liquid products are down, it is time to start setting my face. For this, I use the e.l.f. HD Translucent Setting Powder. And I went a little crazy with the powder there. I almost lost it. Thankfully, I was able to hold back my sneeze, but powder literally draped everywhere. The second powder I use is the Physicians Formula Mineral Loose Setting Powder. This is in the shade Medium Beige. I like to pat this and dab it around my T-zone and across my cheeks just to set the makeup in place. The translucent setting powder is going to sit there underneath my eyes while I begin to work on my eye look. Now it is time to start working on these brows. And my brows take a lot of work. I'm so sorry. I have to apologize to you guys in advance because you're about to watch me brush and brush my brows over and over again like a mad woman, because these bad boys take a lot of work. My favorite brow product to use at the moment is this Avery's Brow Pencil by Red Aspen. I have mine in the shade Medium. What I do is I trace and outline my brows with the brow pencil and then fill in any sparse areas. Then I go to the spoolie at the other end and use the spoolie to blend my natural brow with the brow products. It takes a lot of brushing. So we're going to brush and then brush again. Also, do you remember that mess of powder that happened earlier in the video? On my shoulder, you will see some leftover powder residue later that I discover at the end of the video. Now it is time to start creating the eyeshadow look. This is the Fulfilled palette by Red Aspen. I am in love with this palette. It has replaced every other palette in my collection. All of these shadows are so beautiful. The color payoff is amazing, and they are absolutely buttery, creamy, and so easy to blend. I almost forgot to prime my lids. So before we go in with the eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with the eye primer. I use the Eye Elements eye primer in the shade Core. This is a dupe for the MAC Painterly Paint Pot primer. And I use a Morphe concealer brush to apply that eye primer to my lid. I have hooded lids, so eye primer is absolutely necessary to create the best eyeshadow look for the size and shape of my lids. I stop and giggle at myself for a moment because I realize how crazy I look with that translucent setting powder under my eyes. But this whole process is all about fun. That's the reason why I sit in here, is because I love to play with makeup and enjoy the process along the way. Isn't this palette gorgeous? Now that the eye primer is down, it's time to set it. For this, I'm going to use the shade Calm out of the Fulfilled palette. It is close to my skin tone, so we're going to lightly dust that all over the lid with the blending brush to set that eye primer in place and create a nice base. Now that the base is laid down, it's time to work on the crease. And for the crease, I'm going to dip into the shade Purpose. Purpose is a really beautiful burnt orange. This is the perfect crease shade. I've used it in so many eyeshadow looks I've created recently. It's so versatile and it works with literally everything. I learned a tip recently for hooded eyes, and that is to point and angle your eyeshadow brush upward so you can blend it not only in the crease but just above the crease. This will create the illusion that you have more lid space than you really do. So you will see me not only blend this color in my crease, but I'm going to point upward, then fan and feather just above the crease so my eyes appear bigger. Now it's time to work on the outer part of the eye. For this, I'm going to go to a tapered, pointed, slightly denser eyeshadow brush, and we're going to use this and we're going to work on the outer V. The color I'm going to use for the outer part of my lid is the shade called Home. Home is a really beautiful dark chocolate brown shade, and I'm going to take that and work on just the outer part of the lid to add some definition to the eye. Because I have hooded lids, I don't want to take this dark color and bring it all the way to the inner corner. By focusing it only on the outside, it creates again the illusion that your eye is bigger. If you drag a dark color to the inner corner, it's going to make your eyes appear smaller. So I'm careful to focus this just on the outside, point and angle my brush upward and outward, and then blend. Now I'm going back into the first blending brush that I used with the first shade, and I'm going to blend these colors together so everything seems seamless. Being careful not to drag that dark shade all the way to the inside. I just want to lightly dust and blend the shades together. After I blended my eyeshadows together, I noticed that I blended away a little bit too much from that outer corner of the eye, so I'm going to dip back into the dark chocolate shade Home out of the Fulfilled palette, and I'm going to add back in that depth and definition with the dark shade. Being careful to only place it on the outer corner, I'm going to point and angle my brush upward and outward and then blend. As I'm doing this, I can hear my younger son Colin popping in to say hi. I love the way my face lights up when I see him. He is such a sweetheart. You'll see me say, "I love you, son," and bye. He is just so cute. So now back to these crazy, unruly, and uncooperative brows. Do you remember in the beginning of the video when I apologized for the amount of times that I've brushed and worked on these brows throughout this video? I'm curious to know if any of you have kept track, or serious question, I would like to know, does anybody have to put this much time and effort into their brows, or is it just me? Recently, I learned a tip and trick from somebody that I follow on YouTube, and that is to use hairspray on your brow brush to help tame your brow hairs on the side. This big toothbrush looking tool is my brow brush that came with my iconic London brow wax. I use the hairspray to prep the brush and work it into the wax so that I can maneuver and set my brows in place. So here I brush through the brows with the brow wax, and then I use my spoolie at the end of the Avery's brow pencil to melt it all together. On the side, I have to press and hold that spoolie to keep the brow in place. Now that the brow is in place and beginning to cooperate, it is time for me to move on to eyeliner. This is the Naomi's Glambam eyeliner by Red Aspen in the shade Matte Brown. I love every single color in this eyeliner collection. Recently, I have been using the matte brown on a regular basis. I will tightline the upper part of my eyelid. This is the only time you will see me use the eyeliner on the entire part of my upper lid is in the tightline. I use the plastic shield from the Fulfilled eyeshadow palette as a guide to create a wing on the outer corner of my eye. This plastic shield from the Fulfilled palette really helps to create an even wing on both eyes. Now that I've got the wing in place, it's time for me to work on the lower lash line. I'm going to take a small brush and use that first shade, Calm, and I'm going to blend it all through the lower lash line from the outer corner of the lash line to the inner corner. Next, I will take a small blending brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Purpose, and we're going to take Purpose and blend that along the lower lash line. When you blend in these shades on the lower lash line, you want to look up and angle your brush up to blend it just under the lower lash line to give the eyeshadow look a seamless look from top to bottom. Now I'm going to work on the outer corner of the eye. In the outer corner, I'm going into that dark chocolate shade Home, and I'm focusing it just on the outside and blending it upward toward the wing. Now that we blended that deep shade Home up and out towards the wing, it is time to work on the inner corner. So I'm going to work on highlighting the inner corner of the eye. For this, I'm dipping into the shade Bliss from the Fulfilled palette. Bliss is a beautiful inner corner highlight. You can also use it as a highlight on your cheekbones and down the bridge of your nose. Here I'm going to focus it on the inner part of my lid and the inner corner to give the appearance that my eyes are bigger, brighter, and just overall looking more awake. Once I've got that inner corner highlight in there, I like to dab it with the leftover setting powder from my sponge just to hold everything in place so it doesn't budge for the day. Now that the inner corner highlight is in place, I'm just going to make sure it's blended out. I like to take a little bit of it and blend it in the inner half of my eyelid just to give the appearance that my eyes are more wide open and bigger. Next, I'm going to go back to my eyeliner. I like to use a poof when I work on the outer part of my eyeliner so that my fingers aren't smudging up my makeup. I also don't like to tug on my eye area too harshly, so this poof helps me to be gentle. I'm going to work on the outer part of the eyeliner and get it nice and defined. Then I use the other end of the eyeliner, which is the smudger, and I smudge it out for a blown out, natural, smoky look to the eye. So the smudger on the other end of this eyeliner is so perfect. It really helps me to achieve a blown out, natural looking, smoky eye look. I love the way that it just kind of smudges everything together. Now I'm going to make sure that both sides of the wing match and just blend it and smudge it out. If you are still with me, I want to thank you so much for continuing to watch this video. I know that it seems very long, however, on a daily basis, start to finish, it takes me 15, maybe 20 minutes tops to get ready with this makeup look and get out the door. Now I'm going to go in and highlight the brow bone. For this, I go back into the Fulfilled palette and I use the shade Balance to dust under my brow bone and give it a slight highlight. So many ladies ask me what I do to keep my makeup intact for an entire day or even a long work day. This Maybelline Fit Me powder is the best powder to use. I take this powder and I lightly dust it throughout my T-zone, and then I pat it and work it into the rest of my face. This really sets everything in place. It keeps my oils at bay and it keeps the makeup from smudging or moving throughout the day. My favorite setting spray to use is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. This setting spray really helps to melt all of the product together so that you don't look cakey. It also keeps your makeup intact all day long. I don't have a makeup fan to fan my face, so I like to dance it out while I'm letting all of these setting products do their work. We're just going to hang out here for a minute and have a little bit of a dance off. It helps to dance and fan this setting spray into place so everything melts together and you can move on with the rest of your makeup look. Now it's time to work on these lashes. So I'm going to get a lash curler and curl my lashes to prep them for mascara. The mascara that I have been using on a regular basis and have been in love with lately is the Pump It Up Maggie mascara by Red Aspen. This mascara is jet black and it's also packed with serums to condition your lashes and promote lash growth. It's also so easy to work with and creates such an elongated look for your lashes. As I'm applying my mascara, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to talk to you about the nail dashes that I'm wearing in today's video. These are the Army Pants and Flip Flops Nail Dash, which is a medium round tip nail dash. I am wearing it in combination with Allison's little black dress, which is the black nail dash you see sprinkled in there with this manicure. Allison's little black dress is available on my website for purchase. However, the Army Pants and Flip Flops Nail Dash is only available for the month of September. So you have just a couple more days to get your hands on these. The way that you can get these Army Pants and Flip Flops Nail Dashes is if you buy a business kit with Red Aspen. I have no regrets in purchasing my business kit for Red Aspen. It has stepped me out of my comfort zone and it has also gotten me to fall back in love with makeup again. I'm having so much fun creating these looks for you. Now it's time to work on the finishing touches for this makeup look. I'm going to use a lip liner by Red Aspen. This is called Contour with Grace and it is in the shade Chocolate Cosmos. This color is so versatile and I find that it goes with so many lip creations that I've used lately. So I line my lips with Chocolate Cosmos, and what I love about this lip pencil is there is a brush on the other end to blend in the color and feather it out. Once I've got my lip liner in place, I'm going to use Molly Gets Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade Poppy. I find the combination of Poppy and Chocolate Cosmos together creates the perfect fall look for your lips. Now that the two lip shades are blended together, it is time to top off this lipstick with a little bit of lip gloss. This lip gloss is by KKW Beauty. It's from the Mrs. West collection and the color is called Soulmate. I use this pretty much on a daily basis. It goes with every single makeup look. So I dab this in the center of the lips just to give a little bit of shimmer as a finishing touch to my lipstick. Now that the makeup look is done, I'm so excited to share with you the perfume that I love to wear in fall and winter. Lately, I have an addiction and an obsession with perfumes. I could not wait to use this perfume. It's more appropriate for fall and winter. This is Fever by Jimmy Choo. I get so many compliments every time I wear this. It's sweet and sexy at the same time. The scent lasts all day long and the projection is amazing. I absolutely love Jimmy Choo. It's my most worn perfume in this time of year. If you have made it this far in the video and you are still hanging out with me, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out my favorite beauty products. I thoroughly enjoyed creating this video for you guys and I had so much fun in the process. I would say for me personally, my standout beauty products out of my favorites would definitely be the Kara Gets Glowing Liquid Highlighter in Champagne. I am obsessed with the highlight and glow that this gives me. Next up, I am so loving the Evelyn's Blush and Crush Cream Blush in the shade Pink Dragon Fruit. The flush and sheen that gives my cheeks is absolutely stunning. And last, I cannot say enough good things about the Fulfilled palette. Every single color in this palette is absolutely gorgeous and the color payoff is amazing. I'm curious to know if you have tried any of these products that I featured in today's video. Also would love to hear what some of your favorite products are. If you would like to check out any of the Red Aspen products, you can find the link in my bio. Please send me a DM if you have any questions or if you'd like to chat about anything beauty.